Hello everybody, welcome to Bass Bonsai. We're out here on the water today, not in the house, but we're sort of gonna put together some videos on my combos, how to utilize them, what I feel, what I throw with them anyway, or what I feel maybe what's best, weights, that kind of stuff. And, just so you can kind of see what I have, but what's out there on the market kind of deal. So we're gonna jump down here, I'll show you each individual ones and stuff like that, but the best thing you can do, because this question's been asked a few times, like, can you learn how to fish on YouTube? Can you learn how to shoot guns? Can you actually learn how to do something off YouTube videos? The answer is yes, but until you get out there and do it, you're not going to be, good at it. You might learn the basics, kind of get the idea, but there's nothing like going out and shooting your rod and reel, the bait out in the water and reeling and just testing out stuff like that. There's no real on the water in the real world experiences there's nothing that on YouTube you can get that will equal that. So this might get you close. We're gonna see me out here casting some of these different rod and reel combos, different baits and stuff like that. So buckle up, hang on, this adventure starts right now. I keep always mentioning this in the end of the video, so I'm gonna put this at the beginning of the videos. If you haven't subscribed to Bass and Bonsai, please subscribe now. Mainly fishing content, some bonsai from the past. Gonna plan on maybe having a little pew content, maybe back to bonsai when I get around to it, stuff like that. So hit the like, subscribe, and all that good stuff to help get the spread this channel, Bass and Bonsai. If you like the videos, like the content, please spread the word. Bass and Bonsai. We're coming to a honey hole near you, maybe a shooting range also. Yeah, I know we got guns. Hey, it may be an antique gun show, but it's a gun show. Let's go. Okay guys, I don't know where this is going to fall at in the video series or whatever on my rod and reel combos, but this is becoming my favorite rod and reel combo for a couple reasons. It's the lightest rod I own for out here, full regular, I can throw chatterbaits on, stuff like that. This is the blade, and that blade with the Zillion, it kind of makes it it's a high-end affordable, but it's not super crazy. Like I ordered both of these things from Digitaka. So I didn't get warranties, but they're good quality stuff. Unless you break this rod, the rod will handle the line rating it says, if you don't go overboard and crazy. The Zillion reel is phenomenal. Basically, Digitaka saves you about $100. Coming from Japan, no warranty, so yes, you got that going for it. Same thing with the blade, saves you probably $100 or so, but taking your chances. That's on you guys. If you don't want to, go to either the hookup tackle or Tackle Warehouse or wherever, even Shields. A lot of places carry this kind of stuff right here. It's the mainstream stuff. This is arguably, and no argument here at Bass Bonsai, best reel ever made for the money, especially when you get it from Digitaka. It's as good as my Steez is. It's a little heavier, but it palms probably as good or better when I put it on these P5 rods, which are my favorite rod lineup so far. So anyway, yeah, I've talked enough about this. Let's put it to work. I'm gonna throw you guys on the chesty and let's catch some fish. Sun's out, guns out, get the blade out, get the chatterbait out. So we're gonna throw right over here. And I'm gonna start with this chatterbait. This is that crazy contraption that I and it does work, it will catch a fish. I'm gonna start real quick and then we'll probably switch to the Mini Max. So we're gonna throw it right over here on this little shallow shaded area. A lot of times, like we're out here this morning, there's no wind. Go to a point that has shade on it. A lot of times there'll be some kind of action right there, but just gonna try to show you this blade. This is a knockoff bait. That's that Jackie Hammer old one. That is a bait Nobi or whatever so all of the bait is from AliExpress. Probably too bright. This water is definitely murkier than it normally is, and in that shade is like low light conditions. So sometimes, even though the sun's out, you're out in the sun, throwing a brighter bait up in that shaded area sometimes can be what will work, but it's probably not working right now. So let's throw kind of the bait that just is awesome on this. And if you haven't watched the tequila back rack video, go watch it. We actually just caught a fish on this bait over here, but it's nowhere near as much fun as throwing it on a lighter weight rod and reel combo. So let's try them up shallow again. I kind of like to hold the rod tip up You can kind of go slow, you know, getting up in that shallowest of water, because a lot of times they're still pulled up tight into that bank. Even though it's 8:30 in the morning, it's still morning. I'm going to throw one back the way we came. I hadn't thrown anything that way. And this rod will, you probably hear a little noise. It's 8-strand braid, but it is brand new. I just relined it through the week, so you might be hearing that. You're wondering, like, sometimes new braid, it just has that, you know, it's a little noisier until it gets broke in. So let's get on up here. Oh, there's some fish magic happening over there. I'm about ready to put a different tail on this. Yeah, this water's a little murkier than it normally is. They may want fast today, you know, till the sun comes out a little more. I'll take a hit right at the boat. But the blade, you guys can see with that Zillion on it, throw real light, and I'll show you that it'll throw that shaky head. So yeah, let's switch. Let's just, I know there's fish over here and they're being a little finicky. We've caught one. It's in a different video, not this rod and reel video. But let's jump right to about the lightest thing I'll throw. You know, I may throw a weightless worm, but once you get a worn out Zinkers, even with that 16th ounce, you're still talking about the same weight as like a weightless Zinkers or a weightless Cinco, because they lose all that salt and they get way lighter. But as you can see, you can cast basically very finesse-y. Most guys would throw on spinning gear or BFS, but when you have a very good combo, or like this one, I have the Zillion, but I have it just slightly over halfway spooled with braid, so the spool's real light, and you can cast these very lightweight baits, especially with this blade rod. It's a stiffer rod, but it gives some, so setting the hook on that light wire size 2 hook won't be an issue. So yeah, let's throw one. Let's buzz back over here. I know there's fish right over here. We'll start out kind of 15, 20 foot away from the bank, probably more like, yeah, 15 or 20. Then I'll probably go 10 foot away from the bank if I don't get anything here. I'd like to see it cloud up myself, but we don't always get what we want. You get what you need, right? All right, I'm gonna get a lot of these rods rigged up, and this is a video for this rod, but I'm basically gonna be coming out here and trying all the different baits that I like on this rod. This rod, I probably like that Mini Max the best, but any chatterbait, this is my favorite for chatterbaits. It'll do spinner baits, but I actually like the Super Destroyer or the Poison Adrena better. I like this better for chatterbaits than any of my other rod and reel combos, the blade. And that is still my favorite reel. And since chatterbaits are my favorite thing to throw, it's my favorite combo. So I've already slowed down the soft plastics, but we're going to ramp back up to other baits, and we're going to also throw probably some rattle traps on the Super Destroyer. So if you want to see the rattle trap Super Destroyer thing, check out that video. Yeah, let's keep going. Okay, as you can tell, that bait got in around some last tack, got a deal chewed off. It is done. That's a Baby Rage Menace and that green pumpkin, purple and gold, my favorite color, especially to put on one of these little dudes. That's our little 1/4 ounce. I maybe want to switch to the, I might want to go with the heavier one. The 1/4 ounce, I may want to get down deeper today. So, although it works very good, most cases. I'm going to get our other, which is basically the very first one I ever got, and we're going to rig it up. Same thing, you know, Baby Rage Menace, but it'll get, I can go a little faster, a little deeper. I think these fish are going to, as the sun comes up, it's going to be pushed down a little more. So I've always said that I think Chatterbait is way better at imitating a crawdad than anything, that your spinnerbaits are better for, you know, imitating, yeah, just like that. Spinnerbaits are better at imitating, you know, bait fish. Chatterbaits, even though it's bluegill colors, that's going to look more like a crawdaddy type thing, I feel anyway, than fish. But whatever they think it is, I don't care as long as I hit it. So brand new bait, trailer that is. Every once in a while this Zillion makes a noise, sounds like it's a DC reel. It's crazy. I don't know if something gets in there between the spool and the... So this one will stay down, I can go a little faster, but it'll get down a little more. And I can go back to the other one if I need to. So I'll try to go as slow as I can if I feel grass. There we go. Oh, it took. Get a little deep. Ooh, oh my goodness. That dude is pulling. That is not a giant fish. He is strong. Gonna jump again. Oh, it's a good chunk though. Woo. Get up here. That dude was pulling hard for no bigger than, I mean, it's a good chunk. Don't get me wrong, but that dude, first pull was like, what do I have? But that's what makes this blade. It's capable and it lets these fish put up that fight. Oh, hold on, dude. So yeah, let's go. What do you guys think? Awesome bait, awesome rod and reel combo, right? There we go. Look at that gigantic. I'm gonna kiss this little dude. Dude, you were awesome. He's gonna be a jumper. So let's let him go, see if he's a jumper. Oh, see if he's a jumper, and then, oh, he is. Did he jump? I was looking at you guys. He's insane. All right, guys. Hopefully you like that. So we're gonna try to put more on. Hopefully I catch something even bigger on this rod and reel combo, but if I don't, check these out. It's hard to justify spending this much or that much on rod and reel combos and baits, but man, they are very awesome when you get them put together just like this combo. Talk real quick about the braid. That is Proberos. It's a braid I recommend. You can go, you know, put 20-pound braid on your reel, especially if you have the Zillion, no problem, no issues. Get the Proberos, then do whatever leader material you run. Don't just buy leader material, buy a size line that you know you'll use and you like, and then you have tons of leader material forever. I like the P-Line Original. This is 20, but I do run 15. I just went through a series of losing a lot of baits just for stupid stuff. A lot of times cast them off with 15. You start using too heavy a bait with 15 pound or less, and just in casting, you get a hard backlash or something stupid happens. So I just kind of went with 20 to see if the fish are line shy or not truly, because that P-Line Original, that's good line. So anyway, let's see if we can catch more, but if not, thank you guys very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share the channel, all that good jazz, but hopefully we'll catch more fish. Let's go. All right, bam, game on. Got you guys on the chesty. We're just gonna start fishing now. So I don't know which video you've watched that brought you to this part, but go watch all the videos on the different combos, whether it be this blade, Tequila Baccarat, Super Destroyer, Poison Adrena, Medium Plus, or all the way down to the X Pride, which is one of the, I hate to call it cheap, it's the cheapest out of this lineup. But right now the blade is throwing the bait that I've caught the most fish with this morning. So we're going to try to keep utilizing it. It was up in the shade is where all of our fish came from so far. I still think there should be a fish up in there. Try to come through that grass. Slow it down. I don't think I've ever come over on this side and just fished up this thing. There should be fish over here. Wow, there's a lot of line out. Throw it right there, bring it up to that grass, kill it. Okay, so no. I got just enough grass on that thing to make them not want to hit it. There it goes, it fell off. Oh. There we go. Stay on. So in the sun, still early, 9:30 a.m. That's a good chunk. That is a very nice chunk. Do I have a pick? I may need one more pick of that dude. Look at that beautiful bass. Mwah. Let's see. I'm gonna kiss this one too. Let's see if we got a jumper. Oh, that water's dirty, nasty. Look at your nasty self. Look at you getting all nasty. You're gonna jump. Yeah, you are. That dude. Oh, did you see that? He just shook his head at me. So I hate to put this thing down. I do need to look how I got wound up. Well, I don't know if these fish are ready for that bottom bounce and stuff. So we're gonna put on the old chatterbait. Just to, oh, we were caught on something. Just to hit this area through here. I need to slow down. There's a, oh, that, there we go. Got one there. So I just need to stick with this. Chatterbait. That is an awesome, awesome fish. I love you. Mwah. You guys kiss it. Mwah. That size looks like a little dink, which it is, let's face it. That's a little dink, but man, the blade is one of those rods in the P5 lineup, Destroyer, that's where it starts out. They're fun. So if you're wondering like, well, I catch a bunch of little fish, Charlie, what I recommend, like the F5 and down, honestly, in these Destroyers, you're gonna have some fun. So all those little pop this, Siglet, you know, all those different things, just go by the F rating, and pretty much anything under a 5 is going to be a cool rod for that kind of stuff. Once you get to that up into the higher end ones, then you probably, like my Super Destroyer and Tequila Backrack, they're just extreme overkill on those, you know. Anything like pound and under, you're better off to stick with the lighter setup, smaller, whether it be a finesse jig, soft plastics with a smaller hook, that kind of stuff. The reason I like this, that F5, this rod, little fish are fun, but it's a capable. If I do hook into something, it does come into backbone. So I'm out here, I'm having fun, you know, these dinks. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I hook into, say, a 2 to 5 pounder. Them dinks are utilizing that part of it, but then when it loads, I don't, you know, it does jump into some power, parabolic power, let's call it that, parabolic power. So I can even have treble hook baits. It's not gonna, it's just a good rod. So far, all of the P5s I've had and tried are, I don't really have anything negative to say about any of them. They just do it. I guess if I had to name one thing that I think like where your higher end rods over this may get into is the true slack line sensitivity on the P5 probably isn't as good as like the NRX Plus, maybe even the NRX, the older ones. And it could be even some of these other lower end rods. You know, I'm talking about if you're doing this off the bottom. I don't feel that they're way leaps and bounds above other stuff. But the minute you're casting something out like a chatterbait, spinnerbait, or any kind of moving bait, and you're putting any sort of a flex on that rod, and the minute like that's when they kick into this crazy, with braid for sure, but with any other line too, but they kick into this crazy, probably more sensitive than any rod I've ever used. You can detect what's going on. Since I usually, now they're sensitive, you know, throwing bottom bouncing stuff, but I don't think that, you know, I think there's other rods out there, but as far as moving, touch of a load on it, I don't think there's a better rod on the planet. So yeah, let's go. Well, back to the bait that just does not stop working. And that's this, so I can see the grass, I'm gonna go just past it and I'm gonna kill it. This little Mini Max that since I started using it has just worked. And since I've started using it here at Pogue, it's just worked like I would call phenomenally. Like it just always works. Unfortunately for us, Pogue's fun to fish. Pogue has no big fish. I've almost given up the hope that you're going to catch a giant out of Pogue. Not saying it is impossible, but the possibilities are highly unlikely. And I'm saying that hoping that I catch one today and I can eat my own words, right? Catch a giant. That wind took that. Is not where I wanted it. Sometimes when I make a bad cast, I'll just change up, try something different, just in case I'm totally missing a spot, action, or anything, and there's something, you know, fire something up. Okay, so where did I come into a dead zone here? This spot always looks so good. Let's hit that point closer, right up. Like you can't get any closer to that bank. A little closer. I can't quite get to that side all the way. I can get pretty close though. All right, I think they're going to be up on that other end. I think they're going to be up once it's almost like this little island, even though there's two channels going through it, separates Pogue out. There's like three parts really. Like you have this part which is not as big and a lot of grass around, and it's not as deep, where it does get to 10 foot right in here. So you're kind of at the deep end, but I haven't hardly seen anything on bottom. But then up here, it's like you start out with the place that's just a bigger area. Why won't that thing swim? It's just a bigger, oh, that's why. Basic body of water in my mind as far as how it fishes anyway. Because I don't think I've had any luck on rattle traps and stuff like that on this side, but once I get over here, it's like other baits will kick in that aren't working on this other side. And that may be the whole spinnerbait deal once I get over here. But see, like this grass, I just think there should be something, especially up in this shade. That's probably where I'm gonna go put on sunscreen and chill out for just a second. Like right over in here, I would have thought this little chatterbait could pull out something right on the edge of that grass like that. They are not big. Dude, you're too small to quite be any fun. BFS gear, and that's something I guess I possibly could do. Start just coming to Pogue BFS gear in mind. You know, we can still throw our chatterbaits, the little ones, micros, minis. We could throw this like in the 1/4 ounce on Teton would probably set the hook on that, but like go to crazy small stuff. All right guys, that is it. Hopefully you found this video fun and informational. So what I want to do is go ahead and just give you like in the order I like these and what I like these for. So, you know, even though this was just for one rod and reel, if you haven't watched the other videos, go back and watch them on the other rod and reel. So if I'm going to be fishing, you know, swim baits, bigger stuff, then yeah, you can't deny that this is the way to go. Tequila back rack, bigger stuff. It's hard to deny this rod and reel and its capabilities and all that, but it is not my favorite. It is not my least favorite, but it is not my favorite rod and reel combo. So awesome rod. It's my heaviest. So we'll start with we'll work our way up to my favorite. So there has to be a least favorite then, right? So I hate to say it to you Shimano guys, or Brew Tank for one also. My least favorite of what I own, the rods, not the reel, would be the X Pride 610 medium. Very capable, but it's just the overall feel and stuff. But it's like $279 roughly rod. Definitely an awesome combo once you throw a good reel on it, and it does everything good that it does. But it's my least favorite. My next in line, I know Shimano and Jackal guys are really gonna about fell out of the boat. You Shimano and Jackal guys are really gonna hate me for this, but the Poison Adrena, it's my most versatile, but it is not my favorite. Just because it's a little heavier blank material, just as capable though, probably just as sensitive. And the grip feel is probably the best of all of them, but in my book of favorites, it's next in line. So that leaves two. Actually, wait. Tequila Bacharach falls in between. So the Tequila Bacharach is right after the X Pride. Then the Tequila Bacharach, then the Poison Adrena. Sorry, I left it completely out. So then it leaves only two. Super Destroyer and the Blade. So we'll hold them both up. And you guys tell me which one you think, or if you have these rods, which ones are your favorite kind of deal. So we have the Blade and the Tequila Bacharach. Very close. Mainly a power rating thing. This is like crazy more powerful than the Blade. Overall lighter like 128 grams. This is like 97 grams. So you do pay for the weight, but it's like almost, once you get out fishing one or the other, they're both very lightweight feeling. But my second to favorite, meaning my favorite, this is second to favorite. This has become my new favorite combo just because of how fun it is. Not just to mention the fact that today it's what dominated in just getting all these rods out here. Mainly because it's got two things going for it. Let's put it to you that way. And I'll tell you about those in a second. But first, and I know we're going to get out of here, the Super Destroyer, just because of what it does, it destroys. It's an awesome like rod that you feel, you know, you may feel overpowered once you get into 5 pound and bigger fish. You may feel that's when it's like, oh boy, hang on to it. But it's just the crisp, just how it works for flipping, pitching, skipping, throwing spinner baits, you know, whatever you want to do, it does it on a very short 6'9", lightweight, awesome. The Blade, you can kind of do all that on a lighter level, a little smaller hook for like your jig hooks and stuff, but you can still throw finesse type stuff, and it just does a lot. So if I don't know which video you're watching right now, because this is actually the ending to all 5 of the videos, but go watch them all. If you haven't watched the blade video, go watch it. And I've got several videos kind of highlighting for sure the Poison Adrena and the Super Destroyer have their own kind of separate videos going on. Tequila Back Rack probably does. X Pride only has like 1 or 2 because it's, like I said, it's a very awesome rod, but it's just my least favorite. But for what I do and what I throw, I have to put it to this rod. Now reels is probably easy to see, and you would probably think, well, clearly, Charlie, it's the Steez Limited, right? Because I have 3 of them. No, not actually. That reel right there is my favorite reel because of the money, and it feels better on these rods, which are now my favorite rod lineup, is the P5s. So in the future, I plan on no more, unless the cost comes way down or they redo something on the Steezes that makes, you know, cost-wise basically. This Zillion does everything as good. Some cases you almost would say better than those Steez. The palming part, like this, is smoother. So if I was wanting to in all honesty, for a true jerkbait, and I guess I'll talk about that since I brought it up. The Steez reels are really not very good for jerkbait. If you palm them and you know, work a jerkbait like me, because of this slip right here. And I'm almost thinking, just like I talked about on my Zillion, that's where you're going to have the paint rub off, because that is so sharp. And if you're a guy that basically palms his reel, your hand just aware on that sharp edge, that's something that should honestly, I know it's cosmetics is all it is to make it look better, but it honestly is something they need to probably do away with in the Steez. Because 2 things, it's going to hurt your hand over time if you're trying to fish all day, like I mentioned. And the Zillion does the same kind of thing right here. I've talked about it. You can literally wear the paint off, but it doesn't hurt your hand at all. But that Steez right in there. So this reel actually, for working, like the smoothness of it is the best I've also found for working a jerkbait. So I really need to, if I want to try to, but I don't really like the way the Zillion feels. I know, I'm complicated. On the X Pride, or basically the Perfection Reel Seat, the Poison Adrena or the X Pride, and several other rods that I don't necessarily like. Whoa! Hang on, we're in for a ride. This trolling motor's got a mind of its own. We're going to go over here into the shade. So as I get out of here, just those things to keep in mind when you're out there, and you can do it. Most places will not care. If you go to Bass Pro or wherever and they've got a rod and reel you like, put them together first. Palm them, you know, simulate what you would be doing and just see how they feel. Some rod and reels don't go that great together. They got a weird feel just in how where they mount on the reel seat could change this way or whatever, and it could get tight here. It just could be different. So that's another thing. But anyway, hopefully you like video kind of highlighting rod reel combos. Stay tuned, a lot more coming. Please hit the like, subscribe, share buttons, all that kind of stuff. You know, hit the share button and then decide who you're going to share it to. It should bring up, you know, I don't know about Instagram, but maybe even Instagram, Facebook, your friends. You can usually send it even on in just a text message to somebody if it's a cool video and you liked it, share it. Everything that you've seen me fish with today, I've got another video somewhere previously highlighting, whether it be a bait, the rod, the reel, the line, and all that stuff. But if you have any questions left, put them down below in the comments and I'll try to answer them. I'm a pretty busy man. Not really, but anyway, hopefully you liked the video, guys. If you did, do all those things. But whatever you do, go out and have fun doing it. Don't do anything unless you're having fun doing that thing. Well, unless it's work, until you find a job you actually like. All right, see you later.